The Ballon d'Or is the single most prestigious individual prize in world football. Year after year, it sparks fierce debates, arguments across fan bases, and endless highlight reels of players trying to prove they're the very best. And in 2025, one name has forced himself into that conversation like never before: Ousmane Dembele. For years, Dembele was seen as one of football's most frustrating what-if stories: immense talent, unpredictable flashes of brilliance, but always weighed down by injuries, inconsistency, or questions about his professionalism. But this season, everything changed. This season, Dembele didn't just play football, he dominated it. And today, I'm going to break down exactly why I believe Ousmane Dembele will lift the Ballon d'Or in 2025. Let's start with the cold, hard stats. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much flair, charisma, or style a player has, the Ballon d'Or committee always looks at numbers first. And this year, Dembele's numbers are not just good, they're historic. In League One, he scored 21 goals, finishing as the league's top scorer. That alone is remarkable for a player once branded as an inconsistent winger. But he didn't stop there. In the Champions League, the biggest stage of them all, Dembele added 8 goals, including crucial finishes that carried PSG through knockout stages and all the way to the final. Add another 6 goals across domestic cups and international competitions, and you have a season tally of 35 goals. But here's where it becomes even more staggering. When you add in his assists, Dembele ends the season with a jaw-dropping 51 goal contributions. To put that in perspective, last year's Golden Boot winner Harry Kane hit 36 goals in the Bundesliga, and his total contributions were right in that same range. Meanwhile, Ballon d'Or favorites like Lamine Yamal and Rafinha trail behind, with Yamal sitting at 30 total contributions and Rafinha edging higher with 59. Yes, Rafinha is slightly ahead in raw numbers, but context matters, and I'll get to that in a moment. What matters here is that Dembele finally translated his talent into consistent end product. For years, he was criticized for his poor finishing or lack of decision-making. This season, he silenced that narrative. He became PSG's killer, their difference maker, and their most reliable attacking weapon. The numbers prove it. Now, as we've seen in the history of the Ballon d'Or, team success often matters more than raw numbers. Just look back at Karim Benzema in 2022. He wasn't the highest scorer in the world, but Real Madrid's Champions League triumph propelled him to the Ballon d'Or. And the same story can be told here with Dembele. Paris Saint-Germain didn't just win this year, they dominated. They stormed through League One with ease. They lifted the Coupe de France with commanding performances. But most importantly, they conquered Europe, winning the Champions League in devastating fashion, capped off with a 5-0 victory in the final. That wasn't just a win. That was a statement, one of the most dominant Champions League campaigns in history. On top of that, PSG made it to the Club World Cup final, capping off their first ever historic treble. This was not just PSG's best season. This was French football history. And at the center of all of it was Dembele. Not Mbappe, not anyone else. It was Dembele who carried the attack, who showed up in the big games, and who finally lived up to his long-discussed potential. When voters look back at this season, they won't just see stats. They'll see Dembele as the face of the most successful season in PSG's history. And that alone puts him at the front of the Ballon d'Or race. Of course, every Ballon d'Or race has competition. And this year, the names being thrown around are familiar ones: Lamine Yamal, Rafinha. Each of them has their case. But let's break down why Dembele still comes out on top. Take Lamine Yamal. The teenage sensation at Barcelona has had a breakout year, contributing around 30 goals. And yes, he plays in La Liga, arguably a tougher competition than League One. But here's the reality. When you step into the Champions League, all leagues are equal. And in the UCL, the most important competition of all, Dembele simply outperformed him. 8 goals compared to Yamal's smaller tally, with Dembele doing it in a dominant treble-winning campaign. That matters. Then there's Guillaume Caris. He posted more goal contributions than Dembele, an impressive feat, but football isn't just about stats. When it came to team success, Caris had nothing close to what Dembele achieved. No Champions League final, no treble, no history-making season. And when voters weigh the balance, Dembele's trophies outweigh Guillaume's raw numbers. Finally, we have Rafinha. He's probably the closest rival, with 59 goal contributions in a harder league. On paper, you might argue his numbers slightly edge Dembele's. But here's where the Ballon d'Or precedent matters. In 2022, Benzema won not just because of his numbers, but because of team success. And history shows us over and over again, when one player has slightly better numbers, but another has the treble in a UCL crown, the treble winner wins. And that's why Dembele has the advantage over Rafinha. He has both elite numbers and the trophies that matter most. But here's the final reason why I think Dembele will win it: the human story. Because the Ballon d'Or isn't just about stats and silverware. It's also about narrative, about the story that captivates fans and voters alike. And what bigger story could there be than the redemption of Ousmane Dembele? For years, he was football's ultimate enigma. The kid with lightning pace, two-footed ability, and dazzling dribbling, but weighed down by injuries, criticized for skipping training sessions, and dismissed as immature. People labeled him a problem child, a wasted talent, someone who would never fulfill his promise. But this season, everything changed. He grew up. He became the leader PSG needed. He stayed fit. He stayed consistent. And he delivered when it mattered most. He wasn't just part of PSG's treble. He was the driving force behind it. That redemption arc, from a player once written off to now standing as the best in the world, is the kind of story that Ballon d'Or voters love. It adds weight to his candidacy. It makes him more than just another stats machine. It makes him a symbol of perseverance, of second chances, of finally fulfilling his destiny. So, let's put it all together. The stats: 35 goals, 51 total contributions, top scorer in League One, and dominant in the Champions League. The team's success: PSG's first treble in history, crowned with a 5-0 UCL final win. The competition: outperforming Yamal, Karis, and even edging Rafinha when trophies are considered. The story: a redemption arc unlike any other in recent football memory. For all these reasons, I believe Ousmane Dembélé deserves and will win the 2025 Ballon d'Or. This isn't just about one season. This is about rewriting his legacy. From problem child to football's ultimate prize. From a player mocked for injuries and inconsistency to standing on the stage as the best in the world. And when the ceremony comes and the envelope is open, don't be surprised when a name called isn't Messi, Mbappe, or Yamal. Don't be surprised when it's Ousmane Dembélé, the Ballon d'Or winner of 2025. For all these reasons, the stats, the trophies, the competition, and the redemption story, I believe Ousmane Dembele is destined to win the Ballon d'Or 2025. And when he does, it won't just be an award. It will be the ultimate symbol that talent, when matched with consistency and maturity, can conquer everything. So get ready, because 2025 might just be remembered as the year of Ousmane Dembele.